What's up, everybody? It's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. Today's title, The Source of All Knowledge. You have to wait to the end to hear what that is. Continuing off what we were doing last week, going through the 50th law, giving you lessons on fearlessness as I read this book for about the fifth time. And it's very relevant right now in my life, but it helps me. Books have always been kind of my rock. Got my faith now as my rock, and then getting back to books. Obviously, the people that love you too, but a lot of times it's an internal struggle. It's only you that can help you through certain things. But before we get to that, I like being honest with you guys. Got a lot of great things going on in my life, a lot of exciting things. But let's see, from like Halloween weekend, I knew the next 2 weeks were going to be a little bit insane. We had a lot of stuff going on with the businesses last week. And I can't even think what we did every day. We had soccer Saturday. Friday we had a Halloween, the week before we had a Halloween event for the Flemington Gym over at a distillery. Then you had a Halloween weekend. And then last weekend we had our big fall fest at the estate. Great turnout. So thrilled the way that went. A lot of planning, a lot of teamwork on that. We had something last Friday. I can't even think what it was. Oh, we had a wedding last Friday. So real busy weekend. This week we got the Heart Seminar tomorrow. We got our 80s dance on Friday night. So a lot of planning and prep. And when I thought about it, when we had all this stuff at once in the calendar, I'm like, you'll deal with it when it gets here. You do what you can. And there was a little bit of fear regarding, right? How are you going to pull all this off? Usually you try to do one thing and it's okay, but everything is going great so far. So really good stuff. Now, a lot of people ask me my recommended reading list. This book is definitely up there. The 50th Law is one of my top 5 books. If you go to kylenewell.com, I think you can still download my top 10 books, my reading list. It should be right there in the bottom. But continuing, I'm going to be going over pages 20 to 24. I'll kind of read you some of my notes and then tell you personal experience with it. You try to apply it to you as far as how it resonates with your life. And some of these underlines and whatnot and brackets were from when I first read it in 2011. So pretty cool. And some of it's new. As you read stuff more and more, you have new insights with it. The good thing, though, about when you read, if you make notes and underline, if you want to go back and read it, you don't necessarily have to read the whole book. I am reading the whole book again because I'm getting a lot out of it. But you could just go back and read your notes. So keep that in mind. The fearless types are able to conquer this fear. They fascinate us by how far they will go with their conventionality. Can't be unconventional. I think you've seen that somewhere. Normally, it is hard to hold our attention. We shift our interest from one spectacle to the next. But those who fearlessly express their difference compel our attention on a deeper level for a longer duration, which translates into power and control. By being fearless, if you start working on this muscle, people are going to be magnetized to you. You're going to be a better leader because of that. Fear does not mean, or I should say courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It's acting despite the fear. Me and Devin were up like 4:30 this morning. She happened to be up. I got up to pee, probably because I knew she was up. And I wound up staying up and we were talking about a lot of this mind map stuff and all that. And it's very important to know how your brain operates. That's why I love mind map. Very important because it works with every relationship in your life, and then you can also use it when you're going through stuff in your life. Right? Your brain has an operating system. It's not that different from person to person. Some people train it more than others, just like their bodies. That's the only difference. Through their mindset, remember we're talking about the fearless types, they convert a negative, unexpected event into a positive and opportunity. Take a negative, you turn it into a positive. That's reframing. There's always something that you can twist around from anything that happens to you. The only thing you can control is up here. It's your attitude. I thought this was a new one I put next to my childhood thoughts. I just wrote down, but having a brush with death or being reminded in a dramatic way of the shortness of our lives can have a positive therapeutic effect. Our days are numbered, and so it is best to make every moment count, to have a sense of urgency about life. It could end at any moment. The fearless types usually gain such awareness through some traumatic experience. When I was 7 years old, we had just moved to New Jersey, found out, and I've talked about this many times, that our neighborhood friend from Michigan died. I think he was 10 or 12 years old of an aneurysm. And it scared the bejesus out of me. For the next 3 years, I obsessed over death. I know my parents were very worried at that time. I would come home, I would cry every single day because I could not, like school was almost an escape for me because I was just in this mental prison and I could not get over the finiteness of life and the fact that just thinking on a physical plan, right? I didn't have the spiritual awareness or the faith to guide me through that at that age. I couldn't get over the infinity of when the physical body passes on. I could not fathom it in my head. And it was really tough, but that stuck with me. And I think it's benefited me greatly in my life, realizing that I'm okay with that because I've obsessed over it for so long. And I went through all those phases where I actually was scared of it and whatnot. But when you realize that you can act with a different sense of urgency in life and more of a carefree attitude in life, realize this is meant to be fun. You know, it's meant to be a struggle, but it's also meant to be fun. You can think about that being that it's meant to be a struggle. I'll let you think about that. Being conservative, for instance, can force you into a corner in which you are more likely to lose what you have in the long run because you also lose the capacity to adapt to change. We're going to talk about getting soft. Don't get soft. Don't be too conservative. Remember what got you there. And ironically, even though this is Robert Greene and kind of 50 Cent's life, a lot of this mixed in here. Excellent book, like I said. What you see with a lot of musicians, in my opinion, especially rap, you know, I used to listen to a lot more rap. After they make it, you look at 50, you look at Eminem, you look at some of the other, you know, from more so from my era. After they get out of the streets or whatever it is, in my opinion, they get soft, they get complacent, and the music does not have the same edge, and they start to please a different crowd. Just keep that in mind. If you are afraid to learn from your mistakes, you will more than likely keep repeating them. Your fearful attitude encloses you in an invisible prison, and there you will remain. You deliberately put yourself in difficult situations, and you examine your reactions. In each case, you will notice that your fears were exaggerated, and that confronting them has the bracing effect of bringing you closer to reality. At some point, you will discover the power of reversal. Overcoming the negative of a particular fear leads to a positive quality, whether it's self-reliance, patience, supreme self-confidence, on and on. The most attractive person in any room is the one that is the most confident / certain about themselves. That's just notes from my head. That's not in the book. It is not the physical reality of your environment that matters, but your mental state. How you come to deal with the adversity that is part of life on every level. 50 had to confront his fears. You must choose to. You're not all born in the ghetto. You're not all born where your physical life is put at risk. So you got to choose to confront your fears, which isn't easy. Most people want to avoid fear, like the plague. Your attitude has the power of shaping reality in two opposite directions. One that constricts and corners you in with fear, the other that opens up possibilities and freedom of action. Okay, as we keep moving through, the greatest danger we face is the mind going soft. We've all been through this. You have to constantly strip it down, right? Strip it down and realize what's making you soft. I've gotten complacent many times in my life. Nothing ever good comes out of it because I should say it comes out good. In the moment, nothing good comes out of it. But as you progress and you realize, hey, I'm getting a little soft, you've got to regain your edge. You can regain your edge by maybe just doing different stuff. When I fast every week, that is me gaining an edge. It's putting myself through discomfort every single week, every single day in some form. But I love it because I know it's giving me the edge. It's building mental muscle. You always have to try to give yourself a mental advantage. I talked about this last week, I believe. I was on my good friend BK, his podcast a couple weeks ago. I think that'll be out soon. But we talked about the 10-day cleanse I did. It's always, and when I examine myself from the outside, I'm always trying to figure out how to give myself a mental edge. That could be against other people, but it's more so against me and myself. And I know if I have the mental edge over myself, that it's going to be a lot sharper, my mind, than other people's minds. Because I know most people aren't concerned about their mindset. Lose your grip on reality on these streets, and you might as well kill you. When he was talking about 50's life. Again, this book is excellent. Operate with the desperate energy. Operate with the desperate kind of energy. Life is finite. You could literally drop dead today. That is a reality. Each day you die. Each morning you wake up new. It's a blessing each morning when you wake up. But you almost have to look at each day as a lifetime. Look at it as a lifetime. Reality is my drug. That's a 50 Cent quote. Embrace reality. You know, I told you at the beginning of this, coming into these last weekend, this week, so many events going on that we had to plan and work on. And there was a little bit of angst or anxiety or fear when I say, how are we going to pull all this off? Like 5 events in like 3 weekends. Not that we were going to, that we were running through the businesses. Thanks, Fish. The greatest danger you face is your mind growing soft and your eye getting dull. When things get tough and you grow tired of the grind, your mind tends to drift into fantasies. Stop fantasizing. Don't be a flyboy. We call it a flyboy. You wish you could fly over here and do this. And live in reality. Reality should be your drug, just like 50 said. Reality should be your drug. That's where life takes place. Reality. If things are going well, you'll become complacent, imagining that what you have will now continue forever. It will not. Stop putting your attention on anything in your life, relationship, business, your toys. They're going to break apart and fall down. Complacency will make things fall apart. Seeing people as they are instead of what you think they should be would mean having a greater sense of their motives. Your actions in life would be so much more effective with this knowledge. So think about that. Seeing people as they are instead of what you think they should be. What would mean having a greater sense of their motives. I had a meeting with the body this week. Kind of knew what he wanted to go over. And as I examined the mind map with myself, going through. So, you know, if it is what I think it is, it's reframe. That's a great thing. And it's just information. That's all it is. It's information. Now, what I assign to that, or you assign to information, determines the feelings you're going to get from it. But it's just information. It's not good or bad. Realists are not afraid to look at the harsh circumstances of life. They sharpen their eye by paying keen attention to details, to people's inattentions, to people's intentions, to the dark realities hiding behind any glamorous surface, like any muscle that is trained to develop the capacity to see with more intensity. Be a realist in life. Be a realist. Reality should be your drug. Every circumstance, every individual is different, and your task is to measure that difference, then take appropriate action. The moment you believe in some cherished idea that you will hold on to, no matter what your eyes and ears reveal to you, you're no longer a realist. Be on guard, guys. A couple more here. Let's see. Okay, and this is the source of all knowledge. This part. Okay, and I believe this is from Socrates. His superiority, he realized, was that he knew nothing. Because they told him he was the wisest man in the world. He said, it can't be right. And as he talked to people, kings and all these magistrates or whatever you call them, these people that are higher up, he realized he was wiser than them all. But he knew his superiority was that he realized that he knew nothing. This left his mind open to experiencing things as they are. When you experience things as they are, not as you wish they should be or you project upon them, that is the source of all knowledge. Experience. That is the source of all knowledge. Constantly empty your cup. That is one of the guiding principles. And I'll probably take a break from the fearless stuff next week or make an extra episode about your life's principles, because I had a mind map with a friend and client last night. We were developing his life's principles, and that's such an important thing to do that most people go to their grave and they don't even know what their life's principles are. They don't know what their life's philosophy is. So that's super important. Let's finish this up right here. 2 more notes I had. Just imagine for a day that you do not know anything, that what you believe could be completely false. Force yourself to hold the opposite opinion or see the world through your enemy's eyes. Listen to the people around you with more attentiveness. See everything as a source for education, even the most banal encounters. Imagine that the world is still full of mystery. Be curious, guys. There's a lot of mystery out there, a lot of things we don't know. Sometimes luck or serendipity is more a function of the openness of your mind. So as you can see, pages 20 through 40, a lot of good stuff in there. Embrace fear, because it's always going to be there. But remember, fear is based in the future. The future doesn't exist. Only the now exists. When the future gets here, it's now. Keep that in mind. If the future doesn't exist, fear doesn't really exist, besides up here. All right, that's all we got for you. If anybody is around this Friday, we have the 80s dance. Just finished putting together the playlist for our DJ. It's going to be awesome. Really pumped about it. Going to be a great time. Something I wanted to do forever with the gyms. And that's that, guys. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, and leave a comment or hit the share button if somebody can really use a lesson about fear in their life. Somebody that you know that might be struggling. All right, guys. Peace.